Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Welcome in, friends, to the Eric Zane Show podcast, the daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. There's about 8 million steps to get this show started every day. And I didn't do one of them, which led to confusion amongst the audience. That's not great. So my apologies. Hopefully it's all in place now. I had to start the stream, and then I realized there was something amiss, so I had to kind of stop the stream. Not kind of. I did stop the stream. And then that, puts everybody into a panic. You don't want that. This is a screenshot that is like a shot heard round the world. This is Easy the Chin. Now, this image, which there's a lot of reasons why I look the way I do. One is because I'm fat. That is a reason. But I'm not doing myself any favors with this picture, which if you're listening to the audio podcast, I will link it up. It's really great. In fact, Dr. Jim, who's not really a doctor, says that I should make T-shirts out of this. When I was wearing my 70s gear for Flint Tropics night, I had the silly jacket on, the silly shirt, the silly tie to look like old school 70s PA announcer or radio broadcaster. But I don't know if I was able to pull it off. I think I look more like fat 70s mobster is what that looks like. Now, the shirt, of course, the collar was too tight because I'm fat. But it kind of really cinches around your neck like that. So it's like my neck is now like a fat gut hanging over a belt. Add to this ridiculousness is that I'm looking down, and kind of bunching up the fat that's there. Stu McAllister, as you can see, put a GIF, which I think is actually more attractive than I am. My God. Nick describes it as a muffin collar. Maybe it's time to grow a beard. Aram adds, not a great endorsement for P90X. Well, I'm down 10. When I started doing this 4 weeks ago, I was at 195, which is an all-time record. By a lot. So here we are now at 185. Tyler says mobster name Eric the Chin Zane. Eric the Chins. Sarah says instead of a fupa, it's a noopa. Linda says Stu shouldn't be pointing fingers at anyone. No, yeah, he should. That's funny. That is fantastic. This is one of the things that I was I'm okay with my fat fucking neck being the way it is because I'm confident I will be successful in actually dropping the weight that I want to drop. I had a fantastic day of food consumption yesterday, and I'm planning on the same thing for today. And I got my plyometric workout in, which is such a bitch. My God, so hard. And I got home, and it was about 7:30 when I started that thing, and I was this close to just bagging it and saying, forget it, I'm going to go lay in bed. But I knew that I would just start eating. But and I actually did my workout yesterday, and I got it done. And then at about 8:30, it was bedtime, and but I was a little hungry, so I had 2 fucking cucumber slices. That's it, and I was okay. I've had some pretty solid success in the eating department. It's nothing flashy at all. But it all boils down to calories. And I'm keeping it at like, I don't know, 1,700 calories, which is way, way lower than what it should be. Like if I wanted to lose weight, I should drop it to about 2,000, 2,100, which puts me at a negative of about 500 a day. But I'm keeping it a little lower than that, and I feel okay. I'm not hungry, so I'm just crushing it, you know? Today is another day, though. I might fuck it up. You never know. Chris says it looks like Vince Lombardi leading the Packers to victory circa 1965. Aram says, I hope that the fat leaves the face last. Why do you hate me so much? I don't know what it is about you, but I just don't think you're a fan. I think while everybody else picks on me, for some reason when you do it, it seems like you actually hate me. Has anybody ever told you that? That you seem hopelessly a hater of me? I don't know why. I don't have any problem with anybody else, but for some reason, you have built up a long resume of being a total hater of me. What brought that on, I wonder? You were doing okay for the longest time, but now you're back. Aram says, I am not a hater. I wouldn't be here if I did. Yeah, I know that, but it just seems that way. As you know, have you interacted with someone in your past or even nowadays who is like, it doesn't seem like you like someone? Like, have you ever had any interactions with someone? And they're like, hey, am I okay? Are we okay? Is that? I'm guessing that happens around with you. You know. Aram says, I will stop joking. No, I don't think you necessarily need to stop joking. For some reason, though, and I don't know why, it just seems like you're out for blood. He says, no, people I interact with have tough skin. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's outstanding. I get it. I understand. Bob says, at least you could button your shirt. Freebeer was saying this morning because his fat neck, he couldn't button any of his shirts all the way. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you got to be careful when you're gaining weight like that. And I think I'm turning it around. And but actually, with all due respect, I think it actually is going to fall off of the face first. I think that's how it works. And the last place it will fall off is the abdomen. And so I expect that to be like kind of like the one thing that just doesn't want to leave. But I also was doing some research about these dark patches under my eyes, which I can't tell if it's a shadow or just that's the way the skin looks. I think that's just the way the skin looks now. But it's really starting to bug me now. This is all goes back to what I was telling you about, this rapid aging that has been taking place. Typically, it's a slow burn for the person who actually is doing the aging and they don't notice it. But I am massively noticing it. And this all is about these things called biomarkers, which are obvious signs that you're fucked up. So this face with that chin, that is a biomarker for being near death. These black circles under my eyes, these black, whatever the fuck they are, bags. Oh my God. the biomarkers there, that's another biomarker. That tells me that I have something horrible, probably cancer. So I don't know. It's just really getting on my nerves. And it's puffy too. I was reading somewhere that it has to do with being dehydrated. So that's what I've been doing, is like chugging water. Man Bun Chris, who for some reason isn't subscribed, writes, it means you need to run the riverbank. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, moron. I have arthritis in my knees. It is a challenge sometimes to walk. For the love of God. No, I'm not running the riverbank. I can't even run to the corner. You know? But still able to lift some weights to do the strength training. I am able to do the plyometrics, which is crazy because I'm jumping in the air and landing down on my legs. That actually is not a problem. I heard from Nikki, who is a member of Team Fatathon, which consists of myself, newbie to Fatathon. Hello, Darla. Nikki, Rebecca, Jeremy, and Amanda. And Nikki is in trouble. She has somehow injured herself. She has a torn bicep. Oh, my God. And she says, what do I do? I can't do any strength training. I go, and she's not going to get operated on until like June. I go, she goes, what can I do to like lift weights with my upper body? I go, nothing. I do what your doctor says. And she says she's a pretty tough girl, but typically she'll like sidestep it and just work through it. But this is something she can't work through. You definitely don't want to go against your doctor's orders. I suggest you just keep eating appropriately, walking on the treadmill. If you can do some type of lower body exercises, that's one thing, as long as it doesn't affect the arm. That sounds horrible. How the fuck does one rip their bicep? Jesus. Yesterday, thank you for your patience yesterday in me not being here and posting the not the best of the Eric Zane Show podcast and the something to listen to while I'm away episode. Yesterday was full of a lot of this, a lot of that. We had the basketball game right after the radio show. Then I had to come home, let the dogs out, and then head back out on the road to get my taxes done by the almighty Troy Ginzer from Tag Accounting, which you should do too, 616-301-9516. Go there or reach out, put in a call. You'll talk to Lisa, who will answer the phone, and say, Eric Zane recommended I come here to get my taxes done. Chris says that was a great show you posted. Some genuinely funny moments when that show used to be good. You're referring to the something to listen to while I'm away show. Let's check that out. What did we do on that show? It comes to you from the 9th of April, 2010. I already heard from somebody. Carrie said at 5 minutes in, Free Beer butchers the word conquer because he no doubt says conquer. At 14:10, he murders the word subsequently because he says subsequently. Yeah, that was a favorite of ours. He subsequently, not even 15 minutes in, and the tumor talk is strong. Yeah, I don't want to read this all. If you're on Patreon, that is the most recent entry, and there's a whole collection of something to listen to while I'm away shows, which I publish from time to time, which is a full-length show from the last show that I built on April 9th, 2010. A show now that is entirely a shit show and in the dumper. Nikki says she injured her arm from throwing hay bales. Now she has a bunch of goats, so I'm assuming that has to do with feeding the animals. I'm so sorry about that. You know you're a hilljack when part of your day you have to throw bales of hay. I almost said bays of hail. Speaking of that type of nonsense, word scrambles and brain tumor talk, Thursday is a big fraud Thursday. 6 p.m. we will get started with Who Are These Free Beers? And then at 7 p.m. we will begin the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. The rumor on the street is that there will be a drop machine being used. Why we haven't done that sooner, I don't know. On the next edition of Who Are These Free Beers, there were two things that come to mind that Ben is reviewing that you will be able to check out. I'm keeping my eye on Darla as we do this. I'm hoping she doesn't pee. Darla, just lay down. My God. The gang discussed how much they enjoy videos where people take water and pour it onto a rock, and then the water absorbs into the rock. I'm not shitting you. They also did a segment about what is your thing that you do that is whimsical. And I remember when I read it, I listened to it. I didn't pull the clips from it, though. Ben did. I remember thinking to myself, what exactly is whimsical? The first half of the stupid segment, they discuss what that even means. When they finally figure it out and then start getting into more of the quote-unquote meat of the segment, it leads to nothing interesting, no laughs, intense boredom, and awkwardness. The segment was, what whimsical thing do you do? And then, people call up. My God, what a pile of shit. Rebecca says, my bourbon club, what? Isn't meeting on Thursday this week so I can participate in Big Fraud Thursday again. A bourbon club, you say? What goes on at Bourbon Club? I'm guessing it's just an excuse to get together and sip bourbon. Is it all chicks? Is it a mixed bag? Is it couples? And then how do you decide on the bourbon? And if you're in a bourbon club, you have to have some type of rare bourbon, right? It can't be just something you buy that anybody else can buy, right? It's got to be something that's somewhat rare. Hey, you got to try this. This is 30 years old and whatever. Rebecca says it's an actual club with dues and everything. 12 members. I'm the only chick. So the dues must pay for the booze. The Dues for Booze program. Outstanding. Bob says he's going to miss it. He's got his son's end-of-season basketball banquet. Well, there you go. On Friday of this week, the podcast is going to be late because I volunteered for the unified basketball game, and I'm on a short leash with this one. The Unified Athletic League is various special needs programs at the schools in and around where I live, and they play sports. typically the way they do it is the special needs students partner with some of the other members of the school who volunteer in the special needs classroom, the other classmates, and they kind of help them out in doing sports, and it's a way to like include some of the students who are able to participate. It's a warm and fuzzy, and the kids love it. And Pooh Bear's actually out on the court, which is a riot. And she says, okay, it's happening again. You got to, and I said to her, I go, this is, kind of getting out in front of it. I was like, if you need any help for this. And she kind of looked at me and she goes, okay, but no jokes. Because last year I did this event and then I came back and I think it was on Patreon that I made a crack that somebody heard. And it was, I was really embarrassed. I'll just say it. I mean, I want to keep it real, but I had, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to say it. You're blue balled. I can't. I can't be talking about how I don't want to get in trouble and then saying the thing that I said that got me in trouble last year at this time. But I made a crack, and it was terrible. And then I didn't really think anything of it until later in the day. I got a phone call from Pooh Bear, and she said, we got a problem. And I'm like, uh-oh. Now, this is the only way I can really have a problem. And she says, did you? And then she says what I said. Did you say? And then she says it, and I went, oh, boy. So I figured if I lied, I was just going to say, no, it wasn't me. But then I think that would have been a problem even more so. So I said, yeah, I said that. And boy, was she pissed off. So that was a big deal. So I kind of thought that I was like iced out of the game until the opportunity came up again. Same exact thing. So, at 54 years old, this is proof positive that I can learn and grow. All right? So I'm learning and I'm growing, and I'm excited about the event, and I am not going to say anything. I'm going to keep my stupid mouth shut. Megan says, good call. Thank you. I appreciate that. Aram says, a Zaytunian appearance. That's hysterical. Yes, this is full-on Zaytunian. You spelled it wrong, though. Tim says, immediate loss of Pooh Bear points. How are you, Tim? When is our boy coming home? I think I read in an email or a Facebook post. It's sometime this month, right? My God, what a trooper. He spends the first 3-4 months of the year in the hospital, for God's sake. What the fuck? I will never forget visiting when Pooh Bear and I came over there to say, hey, when the shit started to hit the fan with Lil Buddy, Zeke should be coming home Tuesday, March 11th, according to Tim. Outstanding. Big fella kind of got choked up or something like that, and I think something went down the wrong pipe. And so that led Tim to have to spring into action. Pooh Bear and I were fucking freaked out. And then he was taking care of it. And then all of a sudden he goes, hey, can you get the nurse's attention? I'm like, uh-oh. So then I'm like waving him in like third base coach. Come on in, he needs assistance. Here comes the cavalry. I always fuck that up. Is it cavalry or cavalry? Interesting on this, a Ash Wednesday edition of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Formerly, this was a gigantic. It's Calvary. This was a gigantic thing for your old pal EZ. No longer am I involved in any type of Catholic maneuvers, I guess, for lack of a better term, or celebrations. Being that I am no longer a practicing Catholic, born Catholic, baptized Catholic, no longer a practicing Catholic. Before, this was like a big thing where on Ash Wednesday, I would take the day off work, and then I'd go and I'd get my ashes, and then I'd do like Stations of the Cross, and I would fast, and I would abstain from meat, no snacking in between meals, and begin my 40-day Lenten adventure. Every Friday during Lent, no meat. All sorts of, I think it's called almsgiving. And now it's like nothing, none of that, you know. Also like confession, reconciliation, trying to be godly. I don't do any of that anymore. No longer a participant. I cannot. Anyway, for those of you that do, though, outstanding. You will get nothing from me saying anything bad. All right? It's just not happening. And I hate it when I have to explain it. You know, and I haven't really gone down that road, but I'll still see people from Holy Redeemer from time to time. And it's been years since I've been back there. And I'll get well, where have you been? What are you? Been a long time since we've seen you. Where have you been? And I don't have the heart to break the news to them. You know, I just kind of like, I don't know, I've been busy. Yeah, for 4 years? Oh, shit. Now, that's between me and me only. Some easy idiocy took place. Just yesterday, I was on my way to get my taxes done, and I left the house, and as I'm walking out of the door, I noticed that the front left tire on the truck is low on air. So I was like, ah, shit. Okay, no big deal. I'm just going to pull into Speedway here, fill up the freaking tire, and away we go. Swipe the card. $2 to do this. I love that they have the thing you can swipe on there, you know, because before it was like you had to put quarters in the stupid thing, and who has those? Swipey. I put the, what do you call it? Well, actually, I checked the, how much air goes into it, and I put the swipe the card, and the thing starts, so the timer's running. So I should have done this ahead of time, determine how much air that tire is going to get. So I open up the car door, and there's a sticker there. That's what you're supposed to go by, okay? And I'm looking at it quickly, and I can barely see because my eyes are so bad, and so I don't really see it. And so I go, fuck it, I'll just look at the tire. And now I heard that you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go by what is on the vehicle. But I thought, well, how much of a difference can it be? And I look at the tire, and it says 80 PSI. And I go, well, there we go. So it's got to be close. So I put the nozzle on it, and it says that tire is down to 15 PSI. And I go, oh, God, this is going to take a while. Shit. So then I'm bumping the value up on the pump, okay? And it goes up to 70, but it doesn't go up to 80. So I'm like, oh, it can only go up to 70. Oh, shit. So I start pumping it up, and it's taking forever. And about 6 minutes in, I'm still at like 40. And I'm very, very concerned. So it ends up taking way too long, and it made me late. All right. And it got up to 70, and then it stopped. So I'm like, okay, that's as high as it goes. And I double checked. I looked at the tire. It said 80 PSI. But remember now, I opened up the door, read the sticker, couldn't quite see it. And I was in a rush because I was pressured because the motor was running on the compressor. So I was very quick in my reviewing what it needed to on that sticker. So I just looked at the tire. No big deal. I'm done. Then I go, I should probably look at that sticker. I should probably really get what that sticker says just to be sure. So I put on my glasses. I go over to that sticker, and I'm looking at it. And, oh, boy, it's a good thing I did because that thing was only supposed to be up to 35. So it was only 20 pounds under. Well, about half, more than half. So that was way wrong. So I'm like, oh, my God. I think that if I had not looked at that and put the thing on and when driving, it would have exploded while I was driving on. And this is a big fucking knobby truck tire. It's a big ass tire, you know? I'm like, Jesus Christ, what an asshole. So I'm like, I got to get the air out of this thing. So I get a rock. I take the thing back off and I pushed it and I'm letting the air out. Linda says, how the fuck did you turn 35 into 80? Well, did you not listen, you dumb twat? I just explained it to you. I looked at the sticker, and I didn't see it, so I said, I'll just look at the tire. The tire said 80. So then when I went and checked the sticker just to be sure, I was way off, and that's a good thing I did that, you know? This is both ridiculously stupid and dangerous, but it's also brilliant that I double-checked. Nick says, how in the world are you not dead? And that's a good question. It's because I went back and checked. That's why I'm not dead. So I'm letting the air out now. And I let a bunch out, and then I take the nozzle and I put it back on, but the motor's shut off. And it won't just tell you what the pressure gauge is. It's not a pressure gauge. You got to actually have it running in order to get the pressure. So I go, fuck. I go, do I have a pressure gauge in the truck? Look inside. No. I go, should I go in and buy one? I go, fuck that shit. So I swipe my fucking card again. I gave him another $2 just so I could use the pressure gauge. And so I'd been letting a bunch of air out, and then I swipe my card. It's running again. Now I'm in $4 on this fucking thing. And I put the pressure gauge on there, and it's down to 65. I'm like, oh my God. It took forever to let the air out. Oh my God. So I finally got it down to exactly 35, and I put the cap back on, and I fucking left. Cole says you don't have an air compressor at home. Actually, I do. I do have an air compressor. That's a great question. Why didn't I just use that? I mean, it works too and everything. It's got a hose and you just put the thing right down there. Yeah, that's a little embarrassing too. I didn't even think about the air. I've actually got 3 of them. I got one in Pooh Bear's car, one in the RV, so that doesn't help me. But I also have one in the garage with a hose on it next to the fucking truck. I didn't even fucking think about that. Tyler says, quote, damn it, my car is wobbling when I drive now. Better fill the other 3 up to 82. Okay, so let me describe this to you. As I realized that I was that high over what I needed to be, the first thing I thought about was you guys. I thought, oh, they're going to love this. They are going to love this. They are not going to be able to restrain their ball busting of me. Oh, my God. Cole says you should go with what the tire says. Fuck that sticker. You're just trying to get me to blow up the tire. All right. Well, there you go. I just had to share that with you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, if you're following the show right now on Facebook or YouTube, I'm going to send you on your way. Go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live to get the rest of this show. Subscribe to it, and you can do that either with your Amazon Prime account or by paying a few bucks. You can do that as well. If not, just enjoy the show and enjoy the commercials. Sorry. Meanwhile, I have a Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane, where you can get even more content. This show, I do 2 shows every day. This show is 100% free. Patreon is extra content that you pay $5 or $10 a month for. But I have a free 7 days for you. Go to patreon.com/Eric Zane, and you can sign up for that. And that'll be fantastic, so you can get the latest edition of Who Are These Free Beers? Coming up on Thursday, patreon.com/Eric Zane. Also, if you want to say hello, you can reach out to me in the Shoreliner Striping inbox. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Shoreliner Striping. They stripe parking lots and athletic fields. Don't forget to pay attention to the Free Beer and Hot Wings show. Since my show runs at a time different than theirs, there's no reason why you can't. I know it sucks shit, but you want to listen for things that I can cover on the show. Maybe an awkward moment, stupid segment with absolutely no jokes, maybe a pep talk, maybe Free Beer getting fussy, maybe a Free Beer brain tumor talk moment, on and on and on. If you have something that you want to suggest, please let me know with a timestamp about when it happened and on what day, and I will try to get to it. If you've sent some in the past, I appreciate that. Please keep doing that. Patrick says it's hard to listen to that garbage. I know. It's actually dangerous. Sometimes I'm reviewing. I'm like, fuck, I can't do this while I'm sleepy-eyed. It just puts me right to sleep. It's so bad. Holy cow. All right. I will be back after I take a break. Your old pal EZ has to go tinkle. That is a regular thing these days. And so I will be back, and we can have some more fun. And for you folks on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to kick you out. Thank you. Hello, I'm back. Yeah. Hello, I'm back. All right. Excuse me. Jeremy says, I just thought of a supercut idea. Every time when they get the show member back in a studio for trivia, they ask how the hallway was. They always give a really cringy, stupid answer, perfect for a supercut. I don't know that it is. Supercuts have to be quick. And just that whole dynamic it's just, I think it's just dumb. It's tough to capture via a supercut. They won't stop going to that well, though. Trump did the, is it called the State of the Union? Or joint session of Congress or whatever the hell. I don't know. But this is the one where Trump, and then behind him is the vice president, and then next to the vice president is the Speaker of the House. So this is the one where the Sergeant at Arms says, hear ye, hear ye. Here's the president. And then he comes walking out, and half the people clap, and the rest of them boo. But this time around, you had the Republicans that were clapping, and they liked Trump. This was the same speech where years ago, I remember Nancy Pelosi, like they all dressed in white because they didn't like him. I don't know what that meant. That was supposed to mean like fuck you or something like that. I can't believe that was that long ago. Like the whole Biden presidency came and went, and it seems like it was just last year that this happened when Pelosi ripped up the speech. Do you remember that one? That was a big moment. I was like, oh my God, she's ripping up the speech. Jesus Christ. Chris says, no, it's not the State of the Union. He just addressed a joint session of Congress similar to the State of the Union. Okay, well then if that's the case, this seems to me like an opportunity to kind of like, in his world, take a victory lap. Because I'm guessing if you're a fan of Trump, you're like, oh my God, yes. And if you don't like Trump, it's an opportunity to really say, go fuck yourself. Bob suggests that the Democrats wouldn't even applaud the cancer kid. Oh, that's the brain cancer kid, right? And they made him like a member of the Secret Service? Yeah, this little buddy, this little guy has like a brain tumor, and he's had numerous surgeries. That's why you can see those missing spots of hair because of the when they would go in and operate. I don't know what the prognosis is long term for Devarjay or DJ Daniel. He wants to be a police officer. And so Trump honored him. And there was like this is a fantastic moment. Not only is he an honorary police officer, but they made him an honorary member of the Secret Service, where I think it should be more than an honorary member. I think they should actually make that kid a member of the Secret Service to protect Trump. God knows he would probably do a better job than the losers that were protecting Trump when that wacko in Pennsylvania was shooting at him. This kid with the brain tumor probably has a better handle on how to protect Trump than those pieces of shit who were standing around with their thumbs up their ass when that fucking wacko took the pot shots at Trump. But anyway, this is a spectacular moment. Are you telling me that the Democrats didn't even cheer when this kid was being introduced?
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer. Actually, a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him.
Trump sounds like Biden here.
Love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Okay, now you can hear it. You can hear it right there. If you listen closely, you can hear various Democrats saying, fuck you, kid. Did you hear that? Right there. That guy just said, go fuck yourself. The little guy's getting lifted up. And then this dude who runs the Secret Service gives him his badge. Oh, you just heard, what's the name of that chick? Cortese? I can't think of any Democratic Nancy Pelosi, you can just hear her say, fuck you, kid, you suck. They're saying, fuck you, fuck you. All the Democrats are saying that. I can't believe they do that. That's terrible.
Thank you, DJ.
Now, seriously, if you look right here, this is the only reveal. Right here, these are the Democrats that are seated, and they're not doing anything. And all these rowdy Republicans are like chanting the kid's name. And Democrats are just sitting there. They're not doing anything. This poor kid.
Thank you, DJ.
I mean, you've got to set politics aside at that point, right? When you're when kid with brain cancer has a warm and fuzzy, you should get up and cheer that kid. My God. Chris says Democrats and Rebecca booing loudly. I didn't know that Rebecca was hated that kid too. Rebecca says this was showboaty and all about ego stroking for him. Yeah, I don't know about that. I just know that kid was happy as fuck. I think that's a great opportunity for bipartisan support in all of that chamber to cheer on that little guy. But instead, he's standing there holding up his little badge, and Rebecca is saying, fuck that kid. Fuck that kid. Yeah, I love that kid. I don't know how much, I hate to say it, but I don't know what the prognosis is when you have a brain tumor. I mean, that can be a tough thing to come back from. Tyler writes, you heard it here first, Rebecca hates kids with brain cancer. Aram says something that's not retarded. It was an opportunity for everyone to honor that little buddy's courage. Exactly. Nick says Trump could cure cancer, and Democrats, he writes, libs would still pout about it. Chris says EZ acts all high and mighty, but he wouldn't be doing this if the kid was blind. Probably not. You're right. But I don't know if I'm acting high and mighty. I'm just pointing out, I'm giving you the news here. The kid gets the award. Everybody's going, DJ, DJ. And then Democrats start yelling, fuck you. That's bad. Rebecca now walking it back. She says, nah, I support the kid. Fuck cancer. No, you can't. You're not allowed to support the kid. You already said you wanted him dead. Chris says you said you hate blind people. No, that's true. I do. I do hate all blinds. If that kid were blind, I would want that Secret Service guy to, throw him off the balcony. Because he deserves that. Blind people, they take advantage of everything. They're real pains in the ass. They're always a little too asky, in my opinion. Speaker Mike Johnson, he had to order this guy out. Let's see. What's his fucking name again? God, I had a whole big piece on it and I blew it. Representative Al Green is the guy's name. He went really hard on the president. Did this guy. This Al Green, he's a Democrat from Texas. And he was waving a cane at Trump. And they actually ordered his removal. All right, here you go. So this old bastard gets up there and he's pissed off. And this is how this goes.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Okay, so Johnson has to stand up and say, all right, enough of this guy. He's standing up there. He's waving a cane at Trump, and everybody's getting, and the Democrats are like, yeah, fuck him. And the Republicans are pissed off. Okay, so here's the Democrats, the ones that are seated. Now, this is the same reaction that they gave to the cancer child. That is just to sit there. All right? This is Mike Green right here standing. I think you can see my cursor. And this guy here and these guys over here are getting ready to grab him and take him out. Now, they've got orders of shoot to kill, but I don't know if they're going to do that. All the Democrats are like, fuck you. And they were like holding signs and shit saying like, fuck Trump. This guy, he's moving.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir.
He won't do it.
Take your seat.
This guy's like, fuck you. Fuck you.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
That's the second time they told him. They said, all right, get out of here. These Democrats are like, oh, my God. These Democrats aren't really doing a lot to support their guy here. I mean, this guy is standing up here and saying, fuck you, Trump. And I think he's kind of like in a NASCAR race when they leave a driver out to dry in Daytona and he gets caught up and he's not in the draft. And he's in second place. And then all of a sudden he drops all the way to the back. That's this guy right here. And they're doing nothing to help him. Okay, now these guys here, they're going to take him out and shoot him. Okay, the Republicans are singing, na, 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 hey, 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 kiss him goodbye. This guy's saying, get the fuck out of here.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Okay, so then Trump continues on with his speech. I don't know, man. I mean, I get the objecting, but this is all very strange to me. That it goes the route of, first of all, telling Cancer Kid to go fuck himself. Then this guy protests and they don't have his back. All the while, the Republicans are all shit-faced and they're treating it like a party. A little bit more to this is when Trump walked out, and this is described as a horribly tense feeling in this chamber throughout this 100-minute speech. Everything from Al Green, the Texas Democrat, getting yanked, and then this other chick, she had a sign held up to the camera as Trump walked out. This is a piece from CBS News about that moment.
It was a horribly tense feeling in this chamber at moments. After Congressman Green of Houston was ejected, there was this loud, visceral, ugly screaming inside the chamber, directed at Mr. Green, then directed between both parties and each other. There was another moment when Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury, she's holding up a sign that says, "This is not normal." Stansbury of New Mexico was holding up a white sign that said, "This is not normal."
Now this guy here, he's all happy.
A Republican
keep your eye on
snatched the
this
paper
guy.
from her hand and threw it across the room.
Grabs the note and then he
there
throws
were the
it.
protests from some house.
And here's the signs. These folks are holding signs. This one says Musk steals from this lady whose eyes are too far apart. This one says save Medicaid. I guess the theory is that Musk is going to kill Medicaid. That means that the indigent people in the country will not get any medical care.
From some House Democrats, one after another, they walked out mid-speech.
That one says false. So I guess you have a sign that says false if you don't agree with what the president is saying. So these people were holding up those signs that say false, like when Trump said, we love that little kid with brain cancer. And then these people held up signs that said false. And that's kind of, I guess, what they were doing.
At some point, some of them turned their backs on the president.
No kings live here. This guy here, he's I guess that is a reference to Trump when he said that he's the king.
President waited there a moment.
These people are using the word resist on the back of their shirts, which honestly, I don't really think there's anything that anyone can do to actually resist. If you're going to wear a shirt that suggest resist, you got to be willing to do that. You can't just throw that word around. I think that kind of sets a bad precedent if you say, hey, we're going to resist, and then all you do is wear a shirt that says resist. You have to be willing to bomb a building, maybe firebomb the White House or something like that, or do assassinations are important if you want to get the message across that you're resisting. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.